So you downloaded Warzone, had a few games of it, and you find out that everyone recommends that the Grau is the best gun to use. You check out the recommended loadout, link for my recommendations in the description, and you find out your gun needs to be level 56. That's going to take an age in Battle Royale, but you don't want to buy a multiplayer game. Well, no problem. I'm going to show you how to level the Grau and take it all the way through with all the attachments as they develop to get you the gun that absolutely shreds in Warzone. The first stop is the gunsmith. My Grau is already level 12. If yours isn't, don't worry. Just use the method I've set out. You'll get it to level 12 quite quickly. Just use whatever attachments are useful at that point. But I'm going to go through the gun setup I've got from level 12. I'm then going to go on to explain my class setup and explain the strategy. I'm going to put timestamps in the description for all of these things so you can find what you need quite quickly and go back to it if you need to check it again. So firstly, we're going to look at the class setup I use. Perk 1, it's got to be double time in my view. You can use a EOD, really is a matter of play style between those two, but in this strategy you're going to be aggressive. I find double time is the better option. Perk 2, overkill. I start with overkill because the gun, the Grau, is not very good with this setup to start with, and I find I have to use a secondary. That really helps me get the kills that I need. So here I'm using my M4 setup that in my view absolutely shreds. I've got a different video on that, links in the description for it, and that really helps me get the kills that I needed. Perk 3, amped. In my view there's no choice here. It's the perk that you need so that you can swap your weapons as quickly as possible. It's great now, and then later on when we get rid of overkill you'll see it's great for the launcher. In terms of the lethal, C4, again I don't think this is optional. It's great for clearing rooms and it's great for dealing with vehicles. With this setup it's the only thing that you've got that can really deal with a vehicle to start with. For the tactical, I started off using the stun. I later switched to the heartbeat sensor. It really is more a matter for you. I would suggest one of those two things really to match your play style. Later on I pretty much use the heartbeat exclusively. In terms of the field upgrade, again this is an important one because the field upgrade is something you get right from the very start. I use stopping power. You need the stopping power because it gives you the opportunity to get the most kills you can. It does affect the recoil of the guns, but it's a trade-off I was willing to make in order to be able to get people down as quickly as possible. In terms of the gun setup itself, at level 12 there really isn't that much choice. I didn't use a muzzle attachment to start with, but having really thought about it, I think I would have actually used the tactical suppressor to help keep me off the minimap. The only barrel you've got at the moment is the drifter. Don't use it. It reduces the damage range and the bullet velocity. It's only good at super close-up combat, and you aren't going to find that many engagements in Plunder. That's the best gun for, and you're going to find yourself defeated. Don't bother, don't use it. In terms of the weapon sight, go for whatever's comfortable with. I'm not so keen on the Grau's iron sights to start with. Mini reflex is a good option, but really that's it. This is a matter of whatever makes it better for you. Have a go with the different ones to see which one you prefer. The Commando foregrip is a total must. It's on many people's prime loadout. I personally prefer the Shark foregrip, which gets unlocked later, but it's definitely a Commando foregrip to start with. It's a thing that really helps with the weapon. Finally, I've put on FMJ because it's the only perk I've got nothing else to attach, so why not put it on? We'll be able to unlock other perks later. Now, for the strategy, it's relatively simple. You need to play Plunder. The advantages are you drop in with this loadout, so you're getting weapon XP in the pre-game lobby. Yep, that counts towards the experience, and use it to your advantage. People might hate you for it, but the more kills you get, the quicker you level up this gun. And also you start with a loadout from the very start of the game. If you play Battle Royale, you have to get a loadout later, and there are different guns in the pre-game, so you're going to miss out on loads of XP. Also, I find the Plunder games are shorter. They sort of take between 10 to 20 minutes, I reckon about 15 minutes on average, whereas Battle Royale games, depending on how long you live, are longer, so you're getting less kills per minute. Play Plunder. I also recommend you set the squad to don't fill. I felt that it was spoiling other people's game if I'm not playing the objective and playing really aggressive. If you play as part of a team, make sure you're all aiming for the same thing. But I didn't find it actually made a big difference, and I played a couple of games with friends. Whether I was doing it solo or I was doing it as part of a team, I was getting the same number of kills. Last point of the strategy, you're looking to get kills, so you're going to drop in right on the hotspots of the game. Superstore, hospital, military base, though I don't advise military base myself, airport, and then you're going to hunt people out. What I'm going to do is show you each game that I play, the kills, the development they get, and how the gun changes, so that each time it gets a bit better, you can get more kills, you get more experience and level it up quickly. And we're into the first game. I'm going to get a bunch of kills in the pre-game lobby. I'll show you the kills and we'll look at the development of the gun. That was just a horrible game. Managed to get a total of 3 kills. Not a great start to this. Managed to unlock sleight of hand, not attachment I'm going to use for this class setup, and move the Grau up to level 13. I promise it gets better from here. And we're on to game 2. That was a much better game there. There were 9 kills in the game. No kills pre-lobby, unfortunately, but I managed to unlock some new items. So I changed the setup slightly. I added the operator reflex sight, again because I don't really like the iron sights. I added the blackjack stock just to help out a little bit. And now we're on to game 3. A bit better again this time, 10 kills in the game. I managed to get 1 kill in the pre-game lobby. The problem in this one was I had to get a bunch of the kills with my secondary weapon. As you can see, the Grau still isn't good at range. It's not really even that good at the medium gunfights. and so I had to switch over to my M4 setup to either finish off kills or to get them in the first place. We've unlocked 2 new attachments, the 12 gauge deputy, which we're not going to use, and the muzzle brake, which again we're not going to use. We're up to level 18, grind carries on, and we're on to game 4. Lost a bit of footage at the end of that game, but I made it 6 kills in the game and 2 kills pre-lobby. The gun's still got problems at distance. We've got it up to level 19 now, not a significant increase, and I'm still relying on the overkill weapon to achieve the medium to longer range engagements. Game 5 goes pretty much the same way. Managed to get 1 level unlock the Merc foregrip. Not going to use it, so we're on to game 6. Pretty good game, got 10 kills, got a few more unlocks on the weapon. Crucially, the XRK Void handle, that is one of the handles I use on the premium loadout for this weapon. So as soon as you get that, equip it, because it really does help with the aim down sights time. Otherwise, none of the other attachments assist. And we're straight into game 7. So we got some serious kills in that game. It was quite sweaty with a couple of guys towards the end. However, this added quite a lot of XP to the gun and managed to get some decent unlocks this time. That really now changed the gun. So this is at the end of game 7. We're at level 27. We've got some serious improvements. Firstly, 50 round mags. Enormous difference to the gun. As you can see, I kept having to reload after downing someone to having to then eliminate them, which slows you down. The XRK handle really speeds the gun up, and we start to see some serious improvements. I also, at this point, decided to put on a tactical suppressor, which I think really does help when using it along with Ghost to keep you off the map. And so we're into game 8. At this point I make a loadout change to remove my M4 as my long range weapon, because now the Grau is becoming more my long range weapon with the extended mags, and I instead use my MP5 setup. Again, link in the description for the MP5 setup. That's going to be my go-to for close quarter combat, with the Grau being the all-rounder. And now the gun feels substantially better. That was an 11 kill game. Really, it is about average I'm getting for these games. I'm a pretty average player. I'm just over a sort of 1 KD, so this is nothing spectacular. This is pretty much what I'd expect for most people to be able to get. And we've got some more unlocks for the gun. It's up to level 30 now, and the crucial difference I make here is I change the stock to the new XRK strike light stock to give us a bit more ADS speed, and I change my loadout to remove overkill, as I found I don't really need the MP5. The Grau is now functioning much better as an all-round gun. I can now put on Ghost, and I put on an RPG as my secondary weapon. And the thing about the levels is, although it looks like we're about halfway through leveling up and we're on game 9, actually they exponentially get harder because you need so much more XP per level. And so now the real grind begins with the guns to get there. And I'm going to skip through these games now quite quickly, but we're on to game 9. That's a pretty average game, and we get to unlock the Cronin Shark underbarrel attachment in this one. This is certainly one I recommend on my loadout. Not everyone agrees. Some other people recommend the Commando foregrip. I found putting the Cronin Shark on the underbarrel is just better for me. Something for you to experiment. I certainly recommend it. Give it a go. And we're on to game 10 now. That was a pretty good game, and the gun is starting to show its abilities in game as really being the primary go-to weapon. And the result of this one is now we've unlocked the Archangel barrel, which is going to be one of the premium attachments in my view. I put the barrel on straight away. In the clip, I take off the tactical suppressor. In fact, I changed my mind, and for the next game, game 12, I'm going to have the tactical suppressor back on, and I'm going to take the stock off. And it turns out to be a pretty good gun. Sorry, I got that wrong. This is game 11. Let's not talk about it. On to game 12. Okay, it's definitely not me. I think I'm just getting used to the new gun. But let's not talk about it too much, and we'll move on to the next game. I promise things do get better. This is game 13. So that was a much better game. The weapons really now coming together with all the attachments, and we're really heading towards the best loadout for it. In this one we unlocked the 60 round magazine, which I'm going to put on straight away. That only now leaves the monolithic suppressor. We got the gun to level 41 so far. Monolithic suppressors at 56. Feels close, but still a bit of a grind to get there. On to game 14. only unlocked the recon perk in that game, so we're on to game 15 now. I have no idea what happened there. It wasn't a particularly bad game, it was just I couldn't find anyone. And so 2 kills, I managed to unlock the muzzle compensator, but we're not going to put it onto this loadout because I just don't want to give up a suppressor on this loadout at all. On to game 16. So I left that game with 4 kills to go play a couple of games with some mates. I've had to take the sound off, not appropriate for YouTube. But you'll see the first one we play is a bit of Battle Royale. Again, this is the main problem, although I think we get killed quite early on in the game itself. By the time I get a loadout drop, I do get some kills with the Grau. I get 7 kills in total before we get wiped out. But not all of them with the Grau, and that's the problem with levelling it up in this mode. It just isn't going to be as fast as doing it as in Plunder. I'm going to count this game then as game 17, and then we'll move on to game 18.
I went off behind you.
That was a decent game of kills. I managed to get some unlocks for the gun because I'm grinding now to Monolithic Suppressor, so we're now going to be on to game 19.
Enemy soldier incoming. got the kill. That's a chopper, is it not?
Again, a pretty average game for me. 13 kills. We managed to get some more unlocks. Gun's now level 48. But as you can see, between teams and solos, there really isn't a big difference in the number of kills I'm getting. Certainly if we're playing as part of a team, the thing is different members of the team are picking up different kills. And so you might overall get more kills as the team. You individually are still only getting the same amount of experience. So in my opinion, it doesn't really matter what you do. Of course, if you're a better player, you might be able to do this a bit quicker. But now, on to game 20. Again, it's a pretty average game, 10 kills for me. We unlocked some more of the gun and we're up to level 49. Got to get on to now game 21. As you can see, the later levels are much more of a grind than the earlier levels, but the gun is already functioning really well. You can see in long distance battles and in close quarters, this is really the loadout we're aiming for. Just need a monolithic suppressor. It wasn't a good game, but we got the 5 kills. We leveled the gun up to level 50, unlocked the XRK barrel. That's an alternative barrel that quite a lot of people suggest for a premium loadout on the Grau. Not my recommendation. I stick by the Archangel as better, as it gives you that little bit more damage. Yep, it's a bit slower, but I think it works out. It's something I'm willing to trade off, and as you've seen in the gameplay, it's really good at long range. So we've still got to grind out through to level 56, and that's another 6 levels, but it takes a fair while. On to game 22. Not the best, but we got some kills, got it leveled up to 51. Got a few more things. I think we've got one more thing unlocked. It was no stock attachment. Not going to use it, as the only thing I want now is the monolithic suppressor. I'm not really going to make any attachment changes at all until I get that. And once I've got that, as far as I'm concerned, the gun is ready to go. So we're on to game 24. That was an awful game. Got stuck in downtown. I really don't like it there because I can't get the high kills that I need. It's just too much travelling between tall buildings and loads of solo snipers. Nonetheless, with all the kills in the pre-game lobby, I did manage to level up to the next level, 52, and open the TAC laser. Only 4 more levels to monolithic, so now on to game 25. Not the best of games, but managed to level the gun up to level 54 now, and so which just means another 2 levels at this rate. It should be hopefully another 2 games, which would make it a total of 27 or 28 games. We're on to game 26 now. By this point I was getting pretty tired in the grind. I managed the 8 kills. We managed to level the gun up to level 55, so there's only one more level to go to get the monolithic suppressor. On the way there, on the way to game 27. So that's the end of the grind. It took 26 and a bit games to complete it, which I worked out to be on average, I think about 6.5 hours worth of game to unlock in Warzone. Undoubtedly you can do it quicker in multiplayer. The whole point of this was to show that you don't need to own the game to do it. I didn't do it with any double XP weapons tokens. I just ground out what was there. I hope you liked this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. Please leave a like. Please subscribe. Any comments as to the grind, leave them down below. Thanks a lot.